You're here on the Community Sports Show. Squeaky chairs, Wednesday night. It must be the Community Sports Show studio. And welcome wherever you are across the globe to the studios of the Community Sports Show here in Middle Swan for the Perth Swan Cricket Association Midweek show. It's edition 3. We've got through a couple of weeks, and I'm very pleased to say that my SOS bat signal to the association has been answered, and it's been answered by one of our superheroes of the Perth Swan Cricket Association, Ben Morgan. Let's get it out of the way. Welcome
Thank you very
to the
much
studio,
for having me, Nolsey. Appreciate being here.
Mate, we appreciate you being here as well. So we'll meet Ben in just a second. He's probably getting paid on I turn those dollars you're collecting into fines, and I'm at your club Saturday, so I'll make sure you pay. But of course, speaking of paying, we don't get paid, but we are sponsored, and thanks very much to ID Athletic and Vision Decor for their continued support of our show, where we take local sports to a global audience. Now, it's a big show as always, 12 grades, 86 teams across the competition. We'll talk about every single one of them. A few laughs along the way. Feel free to drop a few comments in there. Now, we're going to find out a little bit more, just a little bit. He's a very complex man. Talking to him off air,
That's a way of putting it, isn't it?
Well, yeah, better than I got called once, which is an enigma. But
I've been called that too.
Have you?
Oh, yeah.
I take it as a badge of honour.
Yeah, same.
Absolutely. All right, so as he gets a mouthful in before he has to talk for a little bit, it is Ben Morgan.
Yeah,
What do you do?
just pointing to the Glen Forest Cricket Club logo on the stubby holder as well. So I wanted to do that little shout out at the start there. $5 a pop.
Is it what you're paying or getting paid?
No. These.
The stubby
the
holders.
The club sells them.
Yes,
But,
well.
Yeah, I'm sure most clubs have them, but I would take this opportunity to promote them now. So.
Well, we'll get it out of the way while we're talking about sponsors, and
Yeah.
all clubs love their sponsors. Your shirt's also over the back there,
Yep.
because last year we were at your club for the 50th or 75th?
120th year.
Oh, so I'm bad at
Yeah.
maths.
Yeah, no, but it's a lot of years. So it's like, yeah, so it's 120 years we were inaugurated, and yeah, we had a big shindig for that. So that was our big event of the year, and yeah, it was well attended, and yeah, you were there commentating and providing those dulcet tones and analogies and all that for the game that was there.
Well, I didn't plan this, but I tell you what, talk about segues. You talk about us being there and a big crowd and all that. There's a photo of that special occasion I prepared earlier. You may or may not be hiding in there somewhere.
I am. I had longer
Back
hair
right,
at the time,
yeah, back right.
right corner. So I was, one eye open at that stage, I think.
Well, I think most of us were one eye open. And look,
Yeah.
great club up there though, Glen Forest. Must be good to be involved.
Yeah.
You've been there a few years now.
Yeah, and a long time now. So I played juniors there. I played a little bit of juniors at Les Murdy Mazenod, actually, because also I went to Mazenod as a kid, so it was a bit more convenient then. But yeah, I played senior cricket throughout since my late teenage years. So I no longer live. I used to live right nearby, so it was very, very close. But no, it's always been pretty close to my heart. Yeah, it's sort of home for me. So I've stayed, and even though I've moved down the hill to Maylands because of work, it's a bit easier to working in the city. It's a bit easier, but
down the hill and around the corner a little bit.
Yeah. I've stayed put at Glen Forest. I've always enjoyed it there. So
that's good though. I mean, that's the loyalty. We talk about the benefits, and every week I talk about the benefits of community clubs and the social interactions. It's great when you can find that.
Yeah.
And unfortunately, our teams are going up against each other this week. So whether we're still talking to each other at the end of the show will remain to be seen. But Glen Forest taking on Middle Swan. We'll get to that in a little while.
As long as you're not too biased.
No. I think it's fair to say this is a bit like when you umpire your own team. If ever you've had to do that, people say you're too biased.
Yeah. You tend to be more strict in a way, critical.
Again,
because you know them probably
they're
better.
watching you.
Yeah.
They're also watching you, expecting you to give them out, not your teammates. So, look, you're a big fan of cricket. You're involved at Les Moody. Started juniors and had a role up there at Les Moody Mazenod. Now at Glen Forest.
Yep.
Been playing seniors. You're still a young man compared to me. I mean, some of the people in that picture would call you dad, but
yeah, well, that's saying something about them, I'd say. But I guess I'm. I feel the ailments because of lack of fitness, but I'm still relatively
enjoying
young.
it.
I still love the game. I always will. It's summer for me,
so summer for you. And look, any non-summer sports? Any other sports you're interested in?
I'm pretty basic. Cricket in the summer, footy in the winter, but I don't play footy, so it's I guess when cricket's over, I get 6 months to decompress.
Yeah.
And do sort of like odd jobs and stuff. So I did a bit of like renovating over the course of the winter. So just sort of frees up the weekends for that. And
so more a watcher during winter.
Yeah. No,
Football, West Coast.
Sadly, I'm a West Coast fan. It's been it's been a good run for the most part, but it's been a hard few years we've had. But I think we're on the turnaround. There's been a lot of change, and changes.
New coach.
Yeah, new coach. New everything really. So I think it's a step in the right direction, and look, we'll hope for the best, I think.
Well, hoping for the best. That's
it.
Hopefully that's how you feel on the weekend. But before we get there, batter or bowler? I hear different things out there. Unnamed sources have been dropping stats at me. Yourself.
Certifiably, I'm an all-rounder.
Certifiably?
I 100% all-rounder. Actually, I rate my bowling more than my batting. But okay. I just never seem to bowl in games. I don't know why. Will, if you're watching, I don't know why I don't bowl.
Will Maddock, there's a call out for you. I love it.
Look, there's a rumour, largely unfounded, that I can't really bowl very well in games and that I tend to bowl only well in the nets. I will say that I bowled once last year. Yeah. I lasted 1.1 overs. I did my hamstring.
Wow.
So that was 3 weeks out of the game for that, and I didn't have to bowl because we had a pretty strong.
In AFL terms, they call that under player management. so maybe we'll
allegedly one time I bowled a 13 ball over, but it was only a rumour,
I think I might have been there for that day. No, I don't know. Well, I've seen a few in my time.
I'd like to think it was 2 overs that I bowled, but apparently it was only 1. So it was 13 balls, however, but
It's a bit like darts on a Monday night. People say you're meant to hit the peg quickly, but if you do that, then you don't get value for money. So same. Yeah. Okay, so you like yourself as a batsman, but you prefer having a bowl. You're not going to get too many chances at the moment. We'll see on Saturday. But the club this year, 125 last year, came in. Only got 2 teams this year, I think. Is that correct?
That's true. So we dropped from 3 men's teams to 2. So we had a fair bit of I guess you could say turnover from a lot of our younger players. This year they've decided, they'll do some other things.
You've gone to Midland Guildford, I heard.
One or two of them have, which is good for them. You by all means you respect the development. They're still young and they're doing their own thing for now. So props to them. We still got a couple of them playing, but we did lose quite a few of them, and then there were some other players as well, other people doing other things. So life. So. And we've got quite a high proportion of FIFO players as well, so
that's a curse on many clubs.
Inconsistent availability with that. So,
But what's the vibe then? You've lost a few. You've kept yourself and a few of the others there.
Yeah, the vibe's still good. It's a little older, the demographic, as a result of the younger crew leaving. But that's good because that means they understand my jokes.
Also means that vodka cruisers aren't in the bar.
We have the women's team, so they get through them pretty quickly. So the vodka cruise, yeah, any of the mixes they're sold pretty extensively, and that's a good thing. The women's team have kept the canteen bar afloat pretty well over the last year or two. So keep it up.
Alright, always drink responsibly. As 3x2. That's
the main sponsor.
Well, $100 straight up. Thanks, 3x2. Okay, so we'll get to the vibe because we're going to look at your two grades. It's B grade and H grade.
Yep.
We'll get to those. As we do all the time, viewers, you've got lots of mates around the world. You've had a bit of an interesting career leading up to this in a non-sporting wise. What do you do for a job?
I do a really quite a nerdy job actually. So I'm a GIS analyst at Rio Tinto.
Okay.
So I work in the mining, but I'm not FIFO.
Are you checking out the substrata and all that?
Yeah, tenure. So there's a bit of that involved. It's not quite as like intensive as like what you do in the metropolitan areas because there's change of property owners all the time.
Yeah.
Whereas this is more like mining lease boundaries and all that. So it's competitors with like FMG and a little bit BHP. A little bit of that, but yeah, a lot of like 3D modelling of like the pits and stuff.
Yeah.
So you commission a survey to do that, and also there's I do a lot of work with rail as well. So pretty much like mapping along the rail and stuff, and drawing out embankments, and it's a fairly technical role, I think, but it's
awesome. Well, we need planners.
Yeah. Oh, look, it's I've been there nearly a year now, so nearly brought up the anniversary, but it's been good. Yeah.
Alright, but that's not what you're most well known for. Let's get it out of the way early.
All right.
Because it's not your first time on the small screen.
No, let's reopen some wounds.
Well, no, just briefly, because we've got to get on. We've got a couple minutes.
So 7 years ago, I did appear on TV as a contestant on Australian Survivor. I lost that season. I was the youngest competitor.
That wasn't all you lost, but sorry.
Jeez. Dignity, you mean?
Yeah.
20 years old I was at the time. So I was the youngest competitor.
Yeah.
Still to this day on the Australian version. It was a heck of an experience. I lasted 30 days out of 55. I finished, I think, 14th. Look, it was great fun. Real good memories looking back on it. But yeah, it's well and truly over now.
Right, but they're life experiences, and they can help shape you. And for all the stick you might cop on that, you talk about life experiences. 20. Is it the? And we're a sports show, so I'm not here to give you a Michael Parkinson type interview or anything like that. But is it as isolated as it is projected? Is there literally just the teammates out there?
Well, there's a production
and
crew
a
as
camera
well, it is quite an isolating experience, you're right, because also factoring in you're playing a social game, so you can't always trust everyone, so
metaphor for life.
So you don't have the support network that you would otherwise would in your day-to-day life, and then you deprive yourself of food and sleep at the same time. It's very taxing.
Well, those jolts to the system at an early age can set you up, and stories. We talk about memories, viewers. I'm big on memories. You create memories every day. It might be a down moment, but there's positive memory coming up just around the corner on the roller coaster of life. So hang on And hang on tight because we've got plenty to get through and we'll get the show underway if that's all right with you, boss.
Beautiful. Let's do it, man.
As always, we welcome your comments. A few people online there at the moment. Spread the word, get people across here, have a chat with us in the comments there. I'm going to start with our usual shout-outs. I'm giving one to Neil Weasel Worsley for his help in the broadcast van last week again. Now that we've lost Donnie Bell, I'm chasing a co-commentator if that's of interest for you. Maybe you can run our camera or our laptop if you don't want to talk for hours like I do. Then jump behind the camera, help me that way, and let us take local sports to the world. And a big shout out to all the clubs as well, starting to notice a bit of an increasing trend in all your social media pages as we cover the Perth Swan Cricket Association. But please remember to tag us every week. I've got a few shout outs tonight along the way. Tag us so we know what's going on. There's some massive milestones and we'll get to those during the drinks break as we get through the rest of the show. I'm going to put a plug in as well. We have got the Community Sports Show awards for the Perth Swan Cricket Association. We'll recap what they are later in the show, but if you'd like to sponsor the awards for biggest audience, you're already in the running now because you could be the biggest midweek guest audience winner of the season. So get your mates out there,
right.
Get them viewing.
I'll do a plug then.
Yeah, do a plug. If you'd like to sponsor the awards, we'd love to hear from you. If you'd like to sponsor the IT, I refuse to pay Elon Musk just on principle.
Yep.
But if you have...
I hear you on that one then, I'll see.
If you're happy to throw some money at a rich billionaire, then, or us, we'll take it as well and try and diverge away from there. Or a scoreboard sponsor, as we've got our high-tech screen on board. We'd appreciate a scoreboard sponsor as well. Speaking of scores, just a reminder, every week, last year it was a cut-off of 30. We've lowered it because we sometimes didn't have anyone to mention because the team's got no 30s. So we've lowered it to 25, and if you got 3 or more with the ball, we'll give you a mention as well. I've got bad news, viewers. The people have voted, and we are introducing one of the awards this year will be the Spirit of Sport Award. It'll be awarded to the person with the most golden ducks across the entire competition for the season.
I reckon there's a few within our club that could very much be in the running for that.
We'll name them later.
Yeah.
So golden ducks will get a mention throughout the show, but if your name was Phil...
Wade Colhoun.
We'll get to him. Don't spoil the surprise. But yeah, plenty of those. But that's about the involvement in sport and just having a go. Because I'm not like you. I'm not a bowler. I'm not a batsman. And plenty of people have told me that over the years and continue to do so even since I've been retired for 5 years. Thanks for the reminders, folks. But we have to recognise everyone that's not going to win the batting and bowling awards that's out there slogging away. Yeah. You know,
turning up every week.
Team. Yep. And that's what we're going to do. And before we get into the first grade scores, just a reminder, we've got a VIP experience up for grabs if you want to go to a World Championship here in the hills of Perth. It's starting on Wednesday, the 6th of November, so literally just a fortnight away now. 24 countries from across the globe coming to take part in the World Flying Disc Team Golf Championships at Mundaring. We've got 2 VIP passes all day, VIP entry, VIP lounge viewing, show bags, all that sort of stuff. Jump on our page and be sure to enter, and we'll draw that next Friday night. All going on, mate. You know, that's the way we like it.
Yeah, man.
All going on. Okay, let's have a look. It is still not tagged as the local loan company first grade on Play HQ, so unless Paul Fernie is sponsoring me, it'll be first grade. And what we'll do here, buddy, is just run through the scores, viewers. We've changed it up this week just so we can get through it in a reasonable time. We'll give you the scores, the run scorers, any bowling stats, any fielding highlights, and the Golden Ducks per grade. And then we'll just soldier on our way through. And I'll lead off. And I feel it fair to say, mate, how's your subcontinental surname pronunciation?
I'd like to think it's pretty good.
Okay,
I'd be
willing to give it a go?
I'd be willing to give it a go, yeah.
All right.
I've watched enough Indian, Pakistani, Bangladeshi, Sri Lankan and Afghan cricket in my time to know most. I feel all right with it.
You could have a permanent gig, because I tell you what, that's the fear factor for commentary. But we'll get on with it. Hawks Punjabi, 187 runs. This is the two-day grade. 187 off just 53 overs there. Les Murdy Mazenod, 1 for 25 off 11. Forestfield, 9 for 143. They're up against current ladder leaders Bayswater. Swan View put on 9 for 200 against University. And in the score of the week, it's a big one.
Yeah.
SKLP, 9 for 310 off 70 overs. So
it's impressive.
Batted out, put on over 4 runs and over in a 2-day format. Very well done there, SKLP.
Yep.
And do you want to take the first line there? Does that make sense to you?
Yep. Yeah, the run scorers there. So obviously SKLP with their 310, they were led by Lalji Halai, 135 not out off 203 balls. He opened the batting and carried his bat throughout. Great performance there. Avi Bungu, 66. Kush Gorshia, 56. James Musker, 48. Harshid Vasani, 48. Rishi Solanki, 38. Chris Wollaston, 32. Akash Sandhu, 31. Ben Quinlivan. I actually struggled more with the Caucasian names.
I know. Life is funny. That's a moment. That's what I'm talking about.
Quinlivan, 30 not out, and Zaid Reynolds Harris, 29. Sam Spence twagged the tail there from number 11 for Forestfield, scored 22 not out of 30. He nearly top scored. I read that scorebook beforehand, actually. Yeah, the 10 and 11 partnership really brought them into the game for Forestfield.
There was a lot of tail wagging last week, so I just thought I would mention them this week, and Sam Spence gets the honours for this week's tail wag of the week. Maybe that's another award.
Yeah.
If you'd like to sponsor a weekly award, we'd love to hear from you. You could be out there promoting the Tail Wag of the Moment award. Okay, the bowling, it looks like this. Not many got 3-fers. Wes Morton, top of the Wazza with 5 for 49 off 24. Zach Jones with 5 for 58 off 13. Good number in the first part of that equation there, Zach. Just work on the second half. Jimmy Outen had 4 for 45. Josh Warden up at Les Murdy Mazenod as well. He had 3 for 28. Well, Greg Hunt, 3 for 44. And the little man, Fletcher Page at Carlisle, with a very resilient is the word. This is where, as a commentator, you have to pick your words carefully.
He must be the skipper.
No, he's not. He's actually. Not. No.
Really?
Well, when you look at 3 for 134, so well battled there, Fletcher.
Yeah. You know? He kept himself on for after. That's why I thought he'd skip it. He's kept himself on for 26 overs, cracked the ton and then some.
Mate, your teammates would walk. If you're the skipper and you're going at 6 runs and over, roughly, and you don't drag yourself, you'd have a team revolt.
Yeah. Well, Wade's done that before.
Oh dear! Just remember, you got to train tomorrow night.
That is true.
Jigger Karai of SKLP. Well, his team put on 300. Jigger didn't put on anything. He got the only Golden Duck of first grade this week. Unlucky Jigger. And the matches this week, given that it's a 2-day format, should be relatively simple for most of them, I think.
Yeah. Les Murdy, the Les Murdy game looks like it'd be a pretty close one. They've 9 wickets left in hand, 163. Anyone's game that's a tough ask, but certainly they've done the what they need to thus far for the most part. Bayswater need 144. You'd think they'll get that. And University, they want 201. That's, again, a very close game on the cards.
Yeah.
Carlisle will need to pull a rabbit out of the hat to get the 311, but, anything's possible. And if... I was going to make a joke about Fletcher Page there. If the SKLP has a Fletcher Page in the attack.
Oh, dear. Oh, that's hard.
I don't know the guy.
I said friendly banter, not burns.
Hey, I never promised anything then, Halsey.
Wade has.
Yeah.
And Wade, I'll hold you accountable. All right,
Sorry.
second. No, it's all right. Having fun.
Yeah.
But we were talking about a mate of mine off air before we came on about commentary.
Yeah.
I am far from the best cricketer.
Yeah.
As a batsman, as a bowler, some would suggest I was a bit of a muppet as an umpire as well, but you all welcome to your opinions. But I get to sit back and tell blokes who are better than me, like Will Maddock, if he gets a golden duck, I'll just go, terrible shot, mate.
Yeah.
So we call
we've
it
got
as
an
we see
audience
it.
here.
Yeah, we call it as we see it.
Yeah.
Speaking of calling it as we see it, in the second grade, Allenbrook put on 248 against Bayswater. Ascot a none for 23 off 9, chasing just 93 for victory.
Ooh.
Against Swanview there.
In 64 overs.
Yep.
Ooh.
And then Ferndale Linwood 3 for 38 off 21, chasing 71 overs of Mount Lawley
Low
Inglewood.
scoring there.
And as a consequence of the low scoring, not many batting mentions for you there, mate.
No. So the highlight of the week for second grade with the bat was Josh Cannell. 83 off 131. He just about outscored most of the teams in B grade this week. That is no word of a lie. I don't even need to know any prior information, but with the numbers alone, it meant that he plays for Ellenbrook, because there's literally no one other team he could have played for.
Correct.
Nathan Willisey, 29 off 98. Dion Bidner, 29 off 44. And a real night watchman effort here from Michael Sloan at number 5 for Swanview, 27 off 147 balls. I've never faced that many balls in my life, so more props to him for that. But yeah, I would for Swanview probably want to, for the second grade, probably want to up the ante a little bit. 64 overs. If you can bat 64 overs, you guys can obviously bat.
Yeah, well,
but
collapses are us.
They're still in the game. To be fair, game's not over. They can very much bowl the opposition out.
Well, we'll have a look at that in just a sec, because for the bowlers, well, talk about good bowling figures here, and we'll see a few throughout the night. Jake Williamson with 6 for 51 off 17 for Bayswater there. Russell Moles, former Swanview player, now out at Ascot. He had 4 for 10 off 9, and that included 6 maidens. Well done, Rusty. And Blade Hollyway had 3 for 15, including 6 maidens in his spell.
Very economical.
Yeah, well, Cade Michael had 3 catches for Ascot there to round it out, and a couple of easy chases, I reckon, this week.
You'd think, but, anything's possible in local cricket, isn't it?
Yes.
So,
well, you'd like to think the second game's a factor, but Ascot needs 70 against Swanview. Ferndale Linwood need just 4. That's 1, 2, 3, 4.
4 runs, is that?
Hang on, let's scroll back up.
Yeah.
Here's a note I prepared earlier.
44.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
So not only can you join me in the commentary van as a commentator, a statistician, if you'd like to be a pre-reporter for me and put my notes together, the position is available.
Yeah.
44 there. Maths is hard.
Yeah, it is.
Except for you, I suspect.
No, it's
you
hard.
good at maths?
I'm good at counting, yeah.
Counting. I can count.
It's pretty easy to count the number of runs I make.
Oh, yeah. All right, Bayswater have the toughest gig of the weekend in second grade, chasing 248 for victory against Allenbrook. All right, you want to lead the scores off this one?
Sure thing. So for third grade, Forestfield sadly have already lost in the first week of the round. They were dismissed for 90 off 33 overs, and SKLP in response a 5 for 158 in 44, putting them in a position of potentially winning outright if they perform well next week as well. University are 1 for 97 off 20 overs, chasing down Swanview third grades 9 for 213 off 50. So bit of a difference between the third grade and the second grade performance for Swanview in terms of runs and intent. Yeah. I mean, 50 4 and over. That's very good. In the 2-day comp, that's a big total.
Yeah, take that.
And Ferndale Linwood are currently struggling a little bit at 2 for 12, but they are chasing 155 as they bowled Ascot out for 154 or 57 overs. So very much still alive that game. And so we can do the batting.
We'll go through the batting. Himal Harani had 72 off 93 opening up for SKLP there. Well done, Himal. Jacob Spur, 67 not out. James Lovelock had 53 at 7, and that was off 38 balls there. So James Lovelock of Swanview, as you said, different from one grade to the next, but that happens across clubs.
Yeah, man.
James there with 8 4s and 3 6s in that knock, so nice, handy.
Doesn't like running, does he?
Well, there's lots of blokes like that.
Yeah.
Jacob Curian had 61 as well there for Swanview, so those two putting on over 100 to help the score along there. Brendan Hall had 45 for the Forestfield Hawks. Jonesy at Swanview had 36 and Dhruv Vasani 32.
Mm-hmm. And for the bowling, the highlight of the week for third grade was Viraj Vasani, 5 for 23 off 7.3 overs. Jonathan Borrello, 3 for 26. Kim Clark, 3 for 45 off 10 overs. And lastly, Liam van der Mosel, 3 for 66.
A big shout out to Kim Clark there. A few of them going around, but I suspect that's the former Helena Valley Kim Clark, the muscly one. There's an old one that's very rich and often seen on socials somewhere in Europe, supping on wine and on a boat somewhere, I suspect. A big shout out to both the Kim Clarks there.
Yeah, no idea who they are.
Sorry, Dolzy. No need to apologise. It's not your fault I'm old. SKLP, well, they've already beaten Forestfield, so that game's done and dusted. It'll be interesting to see whether they go out there this week. There was a game in round 1 that was over on day 1. They didn't go back for day 2. So who knows?
Well, you'd think the opposition would need a bit of extra practice and use the week to try to get that. But look, it's I don't know. I personally would, try to go out there and potentially try to get an outright victory. I believe this. I haven't played 2-day cricket in years, but I believe outright victories are still eligible. Is that?
Yeah, you still get absolutely.
So this is an opportunity to do just that and maximise your points and positioning for the rest of the season. So I would think it would be in their best interest to go out there again.
Well, there you go, an insight, unsolicited insights, all you get here on the Community Sports Show.
Yeah.
Uni still need 117 to get the win there, while Ferndale Linwood are chasing 143, but they've only got 8 left in the shed. Well, good news, mate. We've worked hard so far. I reckon it's time for a drinks break, viewers. And we'll have a quick drink here because... While we have a drink, just before I have a drink, here's a question for you. A few people online, still good to have you with us. Thanks for sticking with us. Question for you. You're not eligible, but you can have a guess later. You can have a guess later.
Just put it there.
We've got an ID Athletic Community Sports Show bucket hat and singlet to give away to the person who basically tells me what Trent Murdoch said in our Saturday feed, because the question remains the same. What is a platinum, otherwise known as a royal duck, given for? What do you get given a royal or platinum duck for? We know about the black ducks, we know about the golden ducks, but what is a platinum or royal duck all about? And as I have a drink, just a request and a reminder, the opportunities for you to jump in to the commentary van. This week I've got Andy Powell jumping in, but on a regular basis, if you'd like to jump in, we'd love your help, either behind the mic, behind the camera, or even on the laptop. Just keeping the scores updated takes one of the jobs away from me, and I'm more than happy to share.
Yeah.
Just like the sponsors share, ID Athletic, for all your sporting apparel. You can look this good too. With a great range of sporting apparel and club merchandise, ID Athletic can also do stubby holders. Don't hold it up. They didn't do that one. ID Athletic for all your sporting apparel and club merchandise needs, as well as vision decor, curtains, blinds, awnings, and even hybrid floorings. Great products, great prices. And as you see up the top, they not only sponsor us as a show, but both also sponsoring Perth Swan Cricket Association and other clubs across the community. So we thank them for supporting us and ask you to support them in return. Along with Ashby Farrell White Arch for your real estate. Barna Construction, if you want something big built, build it with Barna. And if you're having a party, he's not a DJ, but he'll set up all your lights and audio visual needs. Nathan of Nathan's Event Hire, helping us make our transition across into the 21st century. As we get a final drink underway, I'll let you mention the scores there while I have a drink, because we do now move into the Vision Decor one-day A-grade competition. Strap yourselves in, viewers. Here we go. Lots to get through.
So for the one-day A-grade, Coolbinia West were dismissed for 113 in 36 overs. Whilst trying to chase 211, because Helena Valley made 8 for 210. Lesmurdy Mazenod scored a massive 8 for 257 against Dianella, who put up a competitive chase, but ultimately fell short in the end, being dismissed for 178 off 35.2 overs. Midland fell short, just short against Brabham, chasing 180. Midland were dismissed for 137. Brabham in the first innings made 8 for 179.
No Tucker, no Midland. That's the question. He was out last week.
Yeah, okay. So, I mean, yeah, there would have been a few extra bombs hit in that, you would think, for the A-grade team if he was in. And the last game of that round, Caversham made 9 for 207, and in response were able to dismiss Scarborough for 117 in 31 overs.
Well done, mate. And a few big scores here. The first of a couple of centuries for Caversham Dayton. Pardon me. It was Jeevanpreet Singh with 102 not out off 114 balls, batting at 5 for Caversham.
Scored half their score.
Yeah, leading the score run there.
Yeah.
Darren Johnson of Coolbinia West Perth had 56. Tyler Hupping had 49. And then the broadcast match was that Lesmurdy Mazenod big win over Dianella. And we saw Adrian Welton with 44. Cody Lanzon, well, we questioned him early, but he came through. He had 43. Skipper Andrew Robertson had 42. And Daniel Shoesmith at the top of the order with 35. Well done there, guys.
Yep.
For the batsmen, a big shout out to Shurajan Devareddy, finding out how he can get a link. Good to have your interest there, Shurajan. He had 40, while Vishal Patel 35, Nikhil Sharma 33. Two of the old boys there, Sean Cohen, and I say that in terms of old Helena Valley boys, not age. Michael Denon and Sean Cohen, both with 34 not out. That's doing things in tandem for Helena Valley. Stuart Kishula had 33 for Scarborough. That was not out. Well done there, Stewie. And Jay Singh with 32. And rounding out our mentions, just sneaking in with 25, was a very happy man, Happy Bopperai,
That is a name.
with 25 for Helena Valley. Now, we start with some ugly news here. You saw Les Moody Mazenod had a good score.
Yep, and we can probably deduce why. Dianella conceded 39 extras. And if my memory serves me correct, there would have been a fair few front foot no balls in that, perhaps. I didn't look at the scorebook,
no, that's okay.
But yeah, wides is another thing, and perhaps maybe a stricter umpire. Who knows? But yeah, that's what they'd be hoping. But yeah, 39 extras is a large contributor into why.
It's not the biggest today, so
yeah, it's not. But yeah, to round out the bowling, Garn Patel for Brabham was the pick of the bowlers for the round. He took 4 for 18. Daniel Del Preti, 4 for 24, the spearhead of the Scarborough attack. I think it's fair to be said. I know he's dismissed me once or twice and made me look pretty foolish in that. Not that that's difficult, but I do remember facing him and knowing that he was a threat with the ball. Jimmy Shoesmith took 4 for 45. Sean Cohen, 3 for 13 for Helena Valley off 6 overs. Yep. Gurdeep Maggots, 3 for 20. Pavan Kumar, 3 for 28. Prem Patel, 3 for 31. Moran Nielsen, 3 for 32. Ben McInnes, 3 for 37. And Andre Murray, 3 for 59. So a bit expensive there, bringing up a half century, but he took 3 wickets as well. So
I'll take
mixed performance there.
Well done to all the bowlers. Well done to you on getting through all those names. Just one to finish off. He made his debut on the Community Sports Show last week. He's joined Dianella this season and he's all the way from York in the UK. And there was questions asked about this bloke early, Sam Backhouse. This was, we won't dissect the entire game, but I thought Dianella set themselves up when they won the toss and elected to bowl.
Okay.
Never in my experience a good decision. Always try to put runs on the board first. Sam Backhouse went for 19 off his first over, but then saw out his session of 8 to finish with 3 for 42. So good fight back there, Sam. Also had 33 with the bat and scored a run out. So Sam Backhouse was the full house on Saturday. I know, the great
dad joke there.
Yes, I know. Golden Ducks. Well, there was a few of these. Unfortunately, Bikram Singh had one for Helena Valley. Arpan Singh had one for Caversham Dayton. Well, Joel Norman had one for the Sharks. Watch out. Matches this week. Because we're in one day mode now. So
Helena Valley, top of the table. They'll be playing Midland. Midland, I think they win. I think they won one game. 0-2. Okay, so they'll be looking for their first win. Dianella versus Coolbinia West, 4 for 8. And then there's Brabham versus Scarborough, and then lastly, Les Moody Mazenod versus Caversham.
Which will probably turn out to be the game of A grade this week. Les Moody currently in 5th up against Caversham in 3rd. Les Moody with a good win last week, and Caversham 2-0 to start their season.
Yeah.
All right, mate. Now it starts to get interesting. We get to the green bits. The green bits.
Nice.
But, I mean, we're going out and we bring that up because Glen Forest are in B grade.
Correct.
And going quite well. You've enjoyed, what was the term I used? Dominance, I think, in one of my write-ups. Continue your B grade dominance over the last few years.
Last year or two. I mean, the thing is, we don't have a premiership in B grade just yet, so we'd like to get one. Ideally, this year, next year, we'd like one. We should. It's fair to say. I mean, I wasn't playing in B grade, so for all of last year, I wasn't playing in last year's grand final. I want that on the record. We should have won last year's. We didn't. We let ourselves down when it mattered most.
That happens.
It
I've
does.
captained a losing grand final.
Yeah,
so
so it just didn't quite happen when the chips were down. But that's it
That's
happens.
the game.
Cricket, it's local cricket, it happens.
all right, so the scores saw Glen Forest, and we'll go through who did what for you in a moment. Glen Forest getting up over Hawke's Punjabi relatively comkomfortably there.
Well, not really. It was a very close game, Halsey.
Yeah, but
3 runs.
3 runs.
Yeah.
You're
So
not comfortable with that?
No, I was shitting myself.
Well,
it was a very good win. Hard fought team performance.
it's almost like we're twins.
Yeah, man. Yeah, I mean it was a tough game. Ebbed and flowed. So yeah, we got off to a very good. We batted first. We got off to a very good start, and we lost our way a bit with some wickets. I think we were 4 for 50 or 60 off like 10 overs, and then we steadied a bit. And then our Hawke's Punjabi got off to a very good start in their innings, and then we kept pegging them back with wickets. Their run rate, as you can see, 165, 30.4 overs. It was always good throughout, but we just took enough chances when it mattered, and they fought back towards the end, but we just
got the win.
We got the W when it mattered, so it was a great team performance.
Well, one team that wasn't, to use the phrase, S-ing themselves was Mundaring, who chased down Carlisle's score of 99 with 1 for 121 off 20. Good to see the 20 overs being bowled out there. My club, Middle Swan, well, they had a close one as well, going down to last over really there. 7 for 215. Ferndale Linwood getting up over the 78s. 8 for 213. Better start last week for Middle Swan, but just need a few more players to find a few more runs. They're thereabouts.
Yeah.
And then in the final match, Yokai and Pilbara, 160 off 33 overs was enough to defeat Midland, who had 4 for 158 off their allocated 40. So some close matches there in B grade, realistically.
Competitive round for sure. 3 out of the 4 games going very close. The Mundaring game, the exception, but I mean for Mundaring, I think it's worth saying it's showing what they can accomplish when they have a full team. We played them in round 1 and they had 9 players, and long story short, it was a short game. Yeah, but that's what happens when you're missing 2. So.
Yeah, well, we'll have a look at the batsmen here. I'll run through these. Corey Kelly of Middle Swan, top scoring in B grade, with 65 answering the call after I called him out for his duck the week before it not being at training. Nosey just influencing discreetly there. No, I can't claim that. Corey's a good batsman. Rob Coverley, who's been around for a while, played with me back in Midland District days, back in the early 90s. Rob Coverley's still going around for Midland. He had 58 not out. Your bloke, Will Maddock, he also had 58, but he was run out. Was it a setup?
A self-barbecue, because I was batting with him at the time.
So you didn't torch him?
No, I wasn't that desperate to get off strike. I've like bunted out a Yorker, and it sort of landed at my feet. I've called no. But he was running to danger, and he's called through. So it's all right. He can run it, and he got beaten to the punch pretty much. So
oh, there you go, Will. Feel free to do that Saturday, Will. If you can do it in the teens or 20s, that'd be really great.
Yeah.
All right, Cam Taylor. Bit of self-interest there.
Absolutely, I don't blame you for it.
No, I'm looking forward to an early knockoff. Cam Taylor has 56. Than Malawarachi had 52. Matt Collins, 51. Jeff Hammond, 47. Another old boy there, Steve Nimmo, old iron knees himself, 46 not out. Jay Hyatt, 38. Oh, I said 36 for Steve, didn't I?
46 not out, yeah.
Yeah, 46 not out there, Nimmo. Sorry, mate. Jay Hyatt, 38. Dean Williams, 36. Corey Beaton with 35. He wasn't beaten on that score. Armand Deep. Singh had 35. Shah Bangash had 33. Julian Jenkins, the skipper at Midland, and Justin Weaver had just enough to get a mention, 25 each.
He'll probably be mentioned a few times in
I
the
know.
season.
Yeah, he's
if
a good
not for
player.
if not for his batting, he's wicket keeping.
He's awesome.
Yeah.
And we'll see that on Saturday, viewers, so make sure you join us. We'll mention that again in a moment.
Hopefully he's available, actually. I'm not too sure.
Eh?
Hopefully he's available. We're pretty busy. He works quite a bit, yeah. Fingers crossed. Johnny.
No, I'm hoping he's not. Oh, dear. Well, we had some bowlers get some wickets, as you do in a game of cricket, and the best of them for last week in the B grade were...
Okay, so best bowler at B grade was Aman Hajani, 4 for 41. Xavier House for Mundaring took 3 for 23. Brandon Wilson, 3 for 43. And Jared Miller, my mate, for Glen Forest, was expensive, with 3 for 58. I made the comment to him at the fine session that he should have raised the ball when he brought up his 50. And especially factoring in that he's coming down from Midland Guildford fourths.
Oh, okay.
So I think so. But to be fair, he was his bowling performance was pretty instrumental in the win. He did get carded in his first over. He was dropping a little short, but then he found his radar and took 3 top order wickets, which makes up for the fact that he made a duck and dropped a regulation catch at first slip.
Well, it wasn't a golden duck, so I wasn't going to our you, Jared, but he did.
Yeah.
Well, you got 20 not out. Well done on that. Not enough to get a mention, so let's move on.
It's probably for the best. Probably for the best. It wasn't a great 20, to be fair.
Well,
but I will say I was, and this is probably not something you might not know. The fill-in that we had last week was a gentleman named Matty Mikkonen. So he's not a fully registered player. He's only played a couple of games for us over the last couple of years. He also happens to be my old boss. So it was the first time in a batting partnership with him. At the end, I think he made 12 not out. So it was a good little moment we had there. We had some fun. Because I was mates with him, and then he became team lead, and then I moved on,
and now it's a circle of life.
Earn more money than what he could offer me. So.
I almost feel like I can hear Lion King music beating in the background there. Blake and Jesse Phelan, 2 of the Phelan boys, they were feeling it out in the field, but not too often.
Yeah.
Just the one stat between them, a single catch going to Blake.
Yeah.
But well done, fellas. Good to see you stepping up into B grade. Hopefully I might see you on there this week. That would be fun. And another bloke, he's come back after 8 years. He's returned to the club.
Yeah.
The Bard. And we, again, off air, you said, I don't get the reference. Jesse Bardsley.
Yeah.
Good addition back to the club.
Very much so. Good bowler and a very attacking batsman. Just some of the cut shots that he plays just absolutely fly to the boundary. He's been a pretty handy player for us in the first couple of weeks. His stats this game, he made 15 opening batting, took 2 for 29, and took a catch as well. A crucial catch was the 9th wicket, and it was Matty's bowling actually. Matty bowled 1 over of left arm Chinamans, and bowled a rank half tracker in his last ball, and top edge to short fine legs. So
that'll get you every time, viewers.
So,
well, Des David, a fan of the show, good to give you a mention, Desi. Unfortunately, it is for the golden duck you got there, but good to see you still battling away in B grade.
Yeah.
We might be at Carlisle in a few weeks. We'll see how that pans out. Glen Forest take on Middle Swan in the broadcast match of the week at Birkenshaw. Got the approval from the Shire today. We have to go through Shire approvals these days. Yeah. Got that. We'll be up at Birkenshaw for the ladder leaders, Glen Forest taking on my mob, Middle Swan. Yoko and Pilbara take on Ferndale Linwood. And that's a battle for 3rd versus 2nd, so it should be a good game there between those two. At the tail of the ladder, it's Carlisle up against Hawks Punjabi. Bit of pride on the line and Midland taking on Mundaring in the final B grade match of round 3.
Round 3.
Yeah,
round 3.
Yeah, edition 3, round 3. Well,
Yeah.
Maths. See, I told you, maths is hard.
Yeah, man. Yeah.
Especially at this hour of night.
Yes.
All right.
Well, any hour of night, I'd imagine.
Yeah.
Too.
Well, we'll get through C grade, then we'll have a quick break. A big shout out to Joel Kenworthy for chucking us a few mentions in here, along with some from Caversham. I'll let you do this. Oh my gosh, I'm regretting what I was about to say, but I'll stick with it.
Yeah,
You can do the scores.
That's all right. So starting off the round, South Rossmoyne made 517 off their 20, and they were able to bowl Helena Valley out for less than that, 104 in 36.5 overs. Caversham had a comfortable win against Coolbinya, Caversham making 8 for 254. And Coolbinya being bowled out for 155 in the last over. So even though they were bowled out, they was they made it all the way almost to the end of the allotted overs. They were a fair way off the total. SKLP 9 for 197 beat Les Moody-Mazenod by bowling them out for 120 in 37 overs, and Mount Lawley Inglewood made a good total, but. Of 6 for 196, but Bullsbrook were able to chase that down. Bullsbrook, I believe, being the D grade premiers, and have been promoted up to C grade. They've proved their worth in C grade with this performance. 9 for 197.
It'll be about consistency for Bullsbrook, but let's have a look at some of the scores, and there were some big ones in here. And a special shout out for the second of the centuries for Caversham last weekend. Gaurav Sharma with 117 opening up the batting, 13 fours and just the 1 6 there. Andrew Beattie of Mount Lawley 70 not out. Amila Dharma Priya with 70, but he was out, so bad luck Amila, you get put second there. Jag Brar had a simple system. Jag Brar had 49, Dhruv Patel and Dave Washbourne both with 43. Gavfran Cheddar 40, Pragnesh Harani 38, Sukhvinder Kipple with 35, Mitch Woodcock 33, Don Jaya Singh 32, and then rounding out the batsmen, Paul Vincent with 31, both Nishil Karai and Jonas Mattingly had 26. We've got no Coolbinya West Perth batting information. But this bloke here, Simon O'Sullivan, we'll just remember that name in a moment. Simon O'Sullivan had 29 in the knock last week.
So for the bowlers, the pick of the bowlers for the round was Hemant Pathak, 4 for 37 for Mount Lawley Inglewood. Madhuka Jaya Singh, there we go, that's a pronunciation.
Yeah, mate,
3 for 10. Dave Smith, see that pronunciation? 3 for 16. Harsh Bath, 3 for 22. Anish Harani, 3 for 27. Vishni Ranjadran, 3 for 29. And Ryan Warden finishing off the bowling with 3 for 48.
Yeah, and 3 golden ducks going to Dave Smith. He got 3 wickets, but no runs. Bad luck there, Dave of Helena Valley. Kasun Udawaraji had none as well, and nor did Vinod Bandara of Southern River. Those last 2 there. Matches this week.
Okay, the upcoming matches this week for the C grade is SKLP against Helena Valley, arguably the match of the round, 2nd v 4th. Coolbinya versus Southern Rossmoyne topping the ladder at the current stage. Les Moody-Mazenod versus Mount Lawley Inglewood, and then finishing it off is Bullsbrook v Caversham.
All right, so we're going to have a super quick tea break here as this bloke leans in. Well, just hold that. Don't do it on camera, because otherwise my wife will get cross at me.
Okay.
No, not about you cracking that. The fact that we finish at 9:30 instead of 8:30.
Okay.
All right. C grade. Speaking of C grade, we just looked at their scores there. And we need to give a special shout out here. What name did I say?
Something O'Sullivan, was it?
Simon O'Sullivan. He's joining a very elite group here. Last this week in fact, Simon O'Sullivan is joining the 500 Game Club at Les Moody Mazenod, along with the other fellow alumni, Ken Duzovic, Neil Warden and Joey Lee. And I don't want to...
That's a lot.
That's 2,000 games between 4 players,
Yeah.
and at least 3 of them, and Joey tries to wheel himself out occasionally.
Yeah.
3 of the 4 are still going.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's a
That's
lot.
impressive.
That's a great accomplishment there, Simon. Look, 500 games commitment throughout. Look, man. I mean,
I was there for his first game.
What, 40 years ago?
No. I worked it out before, and if anyone can do the math at home, but basically, if you work on an average of 15 games a year,
Yeah. 30 years.
Yeah, roughly.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I crossed 200.
Back in the early 90s.
Yeah. Yeah, so we've got Harry Phelan in our team. He's the only one that's remotely close to getting 500. He's past 400. He got past that last year, I think.
Yeah, he's still going.
He's still going.
Is he still cranky?
He's never not been cranky.
I know. I just thought I'd confirm that.
He's got false teeth now.
Shh. I don't want to mention that. Lest that happened to me. All right, drinks. Just a reminder, a couple of association reminders here. Drinks, please be mindful as Ben has a drink there. Please have yours on the field of play during the game. And be aware of your timings. If you don't have an umpire, even if you do, you only get 2.5 hours per session. And with the sun setting early these days, if you bat your day out, you'll be playing in dark. So please be aware of your times. Also, speaking of times, be aware of the fact that if you lodge a request for a transfer with the association, don't hassle them, please. Like us, they're just a couple of people doing this as a bit of an extra top up for their normal day-to-day job. And they have to get through their day-to-day job so they can earn money. They'll do your transfers every day, but please, if you put it in today, don't ask them about it today. Check tomorrow, and if at the end of tomorrow it's not done. So if you want someone in on Saturday, my advice is do the processing on Thursday night so they can action it Friday for you. That should remove a few of those blokes called Phil. And if your name is Phil and you're the captain of a side, I'd love to talk to you after the broadcast game. So, Will Maddox still skipper?
Yep.
So, Will, you're on notice, yourself or someone, should you win, because I think it might be Middle Swan, the winning captain to provide somebody for us to come over and do an interview with us. All right, let's get through that. Thanks again to Joel for the special mention about Simon O'Sullivan. Absolutely fantastic achievement, mate.
Well done, Simon.
Take my hat off to you. Maybe that should be a criteria for the association life membership. I don't know if there is one, but I'm just putting it out there.
Yeah, no idea if there's an
No
association.
idea, but I think that should be a
clubs have them. We've got a few.
Yeah, but usually they're like 150, 200 sort of games.
Yeah, it's 250 sort of thing, and like general contribution to the club, like if you've done a stint as president or
because you can be there and do nothing.
Yeah.
That conversation's been had at a few clubs.
Yeah.
Well, speaking of a few clubs, we've got 8 to look at in D grade now, and some interesting scores here. Dianella just making 70 off 19, going down to Brabham, who had 186. Darlington went down, and Darlington and Kane and all the gang out there at Ron Jose, you've got your anniversary game coming up. We're due to broadcast you. I hope for your sake and the viewers at home that you have a little bit more than 95 in the broadcast game. They went down to Scarborough, who chased that down 2 for 97 off 25. Caversham got up over Southern Central Districts 150 to 151 in a nail biter there, and City Beach 7 for 170 getting up over Allenbrook, also in a close game 167. Batters.
Tristan Showers, 51 not out. Inesh Velapuram, 51. Aaron Moore, 42. Mike Munson, 39. Jason Lunig, 36. Corey Semmons, 35. Jason Diss, 28. Can't really diss that performance. He's on the mention. Alex Daly, 26. And Sankar Tyagarajan. There we go. Pretty sure I got that right, I hope.
I was going to go Thiagarajan, but
Thiagarajan.
I don't know.
I'm not too sure either, but
big well done to you, Sankar.
It ends in Rajan, so yeah, 25 he made as well, so he qualifies for a mention based on the criteria. Some
blokes that don't qualify for a mention in the good column: Wade Crome of City Beach for a golden duck, Wayne Sowden from Chocolates to Boiled Lollies. Souds, 1 week you're getting a mention for a batting performance, next week it's for a non-performance. But Armand Singh of Caversham Dayton also joined you. Big Brick Bat, Aluminium Bat Award here to Southern Central Districts, who had all 11. Now, I've done games where I've had 10 out of 12 players have got the same surname. Okay?
Patel.
Or Singh, or Singh, whatever it might be. South Central Districts all had 12 blokes, all with the same surname. In. Yep. So sort yourselves out there, South Central Districts, please. Bowling mentions here, a few good ones. Trent McSweeney of Scarborough with 4 for 27 and chipping in with a couple of catches in the field there. Well done, Trent. Kristen Thomas with 3 for 5 off 1.3 overs.
Get it done quick.
I know. Well, there's a series of those coming up. Corey Maguire had 3 for 7 in 3 overs, and that included 2 maidens, so 7 runs off 1 over. But
yeah.
You know,
probably his first over, I imagine.
Yeah, a listener. Yeah. Trev Grayling had 3 for 11 and 3 catches to his name. Well done there, Trev. Xander Vander Westhuizen had 3 for 22, and the bloke with a Hollywood name, Tyson Hannington, 3 for 33. See, you can have fun, take it.
Yeah, taking a piss out of people's names.
Yeah.
It's good fun.
All right.
Rule 12 man interview, that, isn't it?
But some good performances out in the field as well.
Well, just 3 extras by City Beach. They were all leg buys. I have a suspicion they might not have had an umpire.
Come on, man.
That was what, it must have been, either not an umpire or an umpire that just wanted to get it over and done with pretty quick.
I wasn't there, wasn't me.
Yeah, so, but I mean, for 3 extras, that is a good performance all round.
Yeah.
No wides, no balls. That's rare.
Exceptional.
That's rare, even in the higher quality cricket. You see a few wides. I mean, Mitchell Stark running into bowl, you're going to see some wides. You're going to see some wickets, but you'll see some wides as well. He'll spray it a bit. So, yeah, to maintain the consistencies is very good performance.
Yeah, Charlie Freeman also had 5 with the gloves for Alan Brook there. I'll get you a straw. In the matches this week in the D grade, Caversham, they're 3rd in the match against Brabham, who are 1st. That should be the match of the round. Scarborough taking on Dianella. South Central Districts taking on City Beach. And in the final match, Allenbrook travelling to Ron Joe's to take on Darlington, who look for their first win of the season. Come on, Darlo.
Oh, they're our rival.
And in the E grade, the 4 matches here all going to the home sides, and we don't see that too often. Swan View getting up over Ferndale Linwood, Brabham getting up over Carlisle, Southern Rossmoyne getting up over Ascot, and in the final match, Belmont getting up over Maylands in a close one.
And yeah, arguably the performance of the round coming up from Greg Smith, 90 off 59, batting from number 6. He hit 7 4s and 6 6s, so there's about 70 or 80 runs in boundaries.
36 and
28, so yeah.
62.
Yeah, so yeah, something around there.
Quick
so
math.
Clearly not a fan of running. I like it. And also must mention he took 4 for 2 in 2 overs. So pretty much the difference in that game was the performance of Greg Smith.
Smithy, well done, mate.
John Tomlinson scored 47, Prabh Singh 42, Matt Gray 41, Muhammad Jalil 39, Sazadua Rahman 35, Raj Sangha 33, Rahul Trivedi not out on 30, Dylan Selfie,
Yeah.
Selfie 27, Mohit Bhardwaj 26, Red Ink, and finishing it off are Mark Hendricks and Vikram Apti with 25.
Well done to all the batsmen there, but well done, Smithy. A great performance. He's been a servant up at the club for a long time. And you talked about him not liking to run. He's only 4'8", so
He had only sixes. He must be off the.
that was wide.
Ah.
He's 4'4" high.
Ah.
His running's not your thing, is it,
Yeah.
Greggy? Love you, mate. Well done. Golden Ducks. Yeah.
Doesn't matter, yeah.
Nah. Well, William Cook had a golden duck, as did Bryn Holton of Carlisle. And in the bowling stats this week, Deepak Patel with 5 for 9, a good standout performance there for Southern Rossmoyne. Andrew Hendroff with 4 for 24. Yogi Patel with 3 for 4 in 4 maidens, plus 33 runs. So Smithy and Yogesh there really having some good performances in the E grade. Mark Hendricks with 3 for 7 in 1.5 overs. Merv Nelson with 3 for 32 and Aman Singh 3 for 34.
Yep, and the matches for this round in E grade, Ascot looking for their first win of the season against Swan View. Brabham and Maylanes are versing each other. The top of the table clash, Southern Rossmoyne and Belmont. I imagine that would be quite a contest, also factoring in geography.
Yeah.
With a pretty big rivalry there, I would imagine. Not that I'm involved with any of those two clubs.
What do you mean geography and...
Quite close, Rossmoyne and Belmont, is it? Where's Rossmoyne?
Basically think Eastern Coburn.
So no.
Yeah.
But a rivalry in terms of table position, first v second.
All right, we'll allow that.
A big game for both teams there, and Ferndale Linwood finish off against Carlisle.
And a big game there, 6v7. All right, well, in F grade, the F troop, 3 teams currently at the top of the table on 2 wins and no losses. Well done to them. We'll have a mention in a moment. But Les Moody Masnod 72 went down to Caversham 160. Mount Lawley Inglewood 158. The SKLP 171. SKLP chasing that down in 34 overs. Helena Valley, well, 7 for 65. Pardon me. Ran out of batsmen, so another reminder, viewers, if with teams, and we've just figured out some of the geography from Coburn to Bullsbrook, from the coast to the hills, wherever you are, there are teams across the entire Perth Metro. And you saw them in our intro.
I think I was thinking of Redcliffe. Sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah,
sorry. Those two are close.
Yeah, that's where I was going. Sorry. To our good citizens of Rossmoyne.
And Redcliffe.
And Belmont.
Yeah, but wherever you are, if you'd like to get involved, there are clubs still looking for players, even though the season has started. In the other matches, before I get sidetracked there, 7 for 65 I mentioned, going down to Western Wolves, that score line can't be right. It says 29 for 189, unless they've had 3 turns at bats. Our researchers put an extra number in there. I'll say that was 9 for 189. Dianella 162 beat Mundaring 158. In a close game there, just coming down the last couple of overs.
So for SKLP, the performance of the round for this grade, Rajesh Patel, 86 off 76. He hit 13 fours in that and no sixes. So hopefully he's able to clear the road someday. sometime soon. He might crack the ton, you'd think. But yeah, 86 off 76 is a very good performance, no questions about that. Ryan Waters held the game together for Mundaring, but unfortunately couldn't quite get them over the line, but he certainly did more than his fair share. He scored 70, he took 3 for 45 off 7 overs and scored a run out as well. Toby Robertson made 48, Wasim Solomon 47, Cliff Loveridge 43,
It's actually Daniel Murphy.
Take a drink
your mate.
Dan Murphy 33, Ashton Kay 32, Rash Kondakar 31, Mithan Parthaban and Phil Veitch 29, Rob Beattie and Chris Winter also scored 29, Arun Mashire 28, and William Reze. How do I pronounce it? Reze 27.
Now, just as you suffer 7 years on from your survivor connection, I suspect that Daniel has to put up with, you got a drink for me, mate, everywhere he goes. So
that sounds like a fake alias in many ways.
Well, it's not, it's real.
It's real, but yeah.
Also real was the 33, I'm selling them up the river, 33 extras by Dianella there, becoming a theme for Dianella.
Extra read all about it.
Yeah, might need to get me down as a bowling coach or maybe behind the stumps at training and even, practice in the nets. And we spoke at the top, people suggest you're a better nets bowler than a field bowler. But don't just practice with no one at the stumps. Have an umpire there. Call the no balls, call the wides. Figure out what it is, because that's what training's all about. Dianella had the 33 there. Golden Ducks, 3 of these. One to Jared March at Helena Valley. I suspect one of the sons of Colin or Darren. Sushant Gord had SKLP's Golden Duck, and Ishan Lotlicker had one for Mount Lawley, Inglewood as well. And the bowlers, I'll go through those because there's a couple of mentions here. We saw Caversham acknowledge their 2 players with a ton. Well, this player making he's just a young player there, Gudav Eric, coming in and taking 6 for 24 for Caversham. Kishan Halai with 3 for 19, all the rest 3 for Cooper Veach, 3 for 21. Dan Whittington had 3 for 32. Shashanti Gord had 3 for 33 to go with his Golden Duck, so he offset that a little bit. Aravinda Gathalanka, 3 for 5. See, this is what I mean about just bursts. Bowling changes can prove dynamic. Kulathunga there with 3 for 5 off 1.5 for Mount Lawley. And Corey Smith rounding out the fielding mentions with 4 catches for Helena Valley. And in the matches, I'll soldier on. SKLP take on Les Murdy Mazenod, Mount Lawley, and we don't know who's where other than Cavisham's on top. Mount Lawley take on Western Wolves, the ladder leaders, Caversham up against Dianella. And then a bit of a local derby, as local as you're going to get here, I suspect. Mundaring taking on Helena Valley.
Yeah. Where are the Western Wolves based, actually?
They are out in Belga, Ferreira Park.
Yeah. I think I played there before.
Belga sort of way. Yeah. Got a couple of teams in the competition now. Good to have you with us, Western Wolves. Oh! Well, shouldn't do that. The wife will be going to bed soon. Just a quick, like you should do on Saturdays, a quick drink break. It's not a go off, have a fag, have a break, go to the loo. That's what the 11th and 12th men are for. We'll have a quick drinks break here because a reminder, new Perth Swan Cricket Association team sheets are out and about. It's got shirt numbers on. You guys got numbers?
Yeah. On the purples, yeah.
The game day shirts.
Yeah. Most of us do for the A and B grade. In the H grade.
Yeah, no, that's fair enough. Yeah, but in the A and B grade, where we film, it is a reminder. Shirt numbers are required, and please give us a copy of your numbers Thursday or Friday night so we can get the notes ready in time. And speaking of in time, don't miss out with your post-Christmas expressions of interest for a broadcast, as we already are full all the way up to December already. If you want to promote your club, get a milestone game on, or if you've got a back to club day, whatever it might be, get in touch with the association and us to book your appointments or your schedule with us soon. Just like you'll need to book an appointment to get a quote from our fabulous sponsors, Vision Decor, but they'll come out real quick and see and look after all your curtain blind and awning needs, and even hybrid flooring. And on that note, a reminder, Pup, down on the floor behind us, I'd love a new floor here in the studio. This 35-year-old carpet has seen better days, so we look forward to getting that on the floor in here. And ID Athletic for all your sporting apparel and club merchandise, keeping us and the community looking as good. Let them help build your club's identity. All right, you can tackle the scores first up because there's a few easy ones in here.
Yeah, sadly, starting off with a forfeit, Yokine Pilbara forfeited against Brabham. And was that a top-of-the-table clash?
Yep.
Oh, boy.
Yep.
So,
well, we're only 2 rounds in.
2 rounds in, so yeah, it's hard to judge where the teams will end up. But Yokine Pilbara had some success early in the year, and I'm guessing, they had some happenings that made some of their players unavailable for the G grade. So that's unfortunate for them, but it means that Brabham get the points. SKLP scored a pretty good 9 for 184, and they were able to beat University as a result, bowling them out in 30 overs for 130. Carlisle scored a massive 265 all out, believe it or not, in 38.4. So they didn't even bat their 40 overs, and they still made 265.
I need to swap them for their A grade.
Yeah.
Or first grade.
Maybe. Controversial call there by Nolsey, but they beat Bays, a high-scoring game this in the G grade.
Yeah.
Bayswater 9 for 215 in 38.3, falling 50 runs short of the total. And
that is not a typo.
yeah, I didn't think it was. Ascot, unfortunately, have suffered the ignominy of being bowled out for 19 off 12.4 overs. So, and they lost. They were chasing 163. Scarborough made 162 off 38.2, and it's pretty sorry reading that. I hope they're doing okay. I mean, if they were playing it...
Hang on, I'll just put lifeline numbers across the bottom here with that sort of warning.
They could have, for Ascot, they could have gone to the races afterwards and maybe drunk a few and watched a few horses. Arguably,
well, maybe that's where they came from.
Yeah,
but look, let's move on.
The horses had better.
That horse had bolted, mate.
Oh.
All right, Roger Smith.
Oh my God.
Roger Smith. The absolute legend that is Roger Smith.
8 for 9.
8 for 9 for Scarborough. So this is an important one here. Scarborough facilitated 6 ducks in that Ascot 19, 3 of them Goldens, and a top score of just 4. Roger Smith with 8 for 9 off 6.4 overs. 3 maidens, economy rate of 1.35 there, Roger. That really is a fantastic performance. Well done to you. And
wow, I mean, I've
extras.
I have gotten out to him before. To be fair, I do remember going up against. He's very solid bowler, even in the higher grades. I know he's getting on, but I mean, he'd be chopping it up in the lower grade. I think it's fair to say. 8 for 9 shows that, and look, well done.
Well done, Rog. Well done to the well done to the bowlers as well. The batsmen, I should say, because while Ascot didn't get any, Sabur Akhtar had 95 for Carlisle, 10 fours and 6 sixes, so
crisp.
96 of it. That can't be right.
76.
Yeah, 76 of his 92. Thanks for that mass help there. Connor Brown had 83. Tom Barnes had 75 not out with a stellar performance there of 119. Stacey King, 34. Wes Martini, 27. And Matt Busemaker, 25. And if their score wasn't tough enough, 19, they gave away 48 extras.
Well,
36 wides, 5 no balls. So I might have to set up a umpire training business.
Not that it really matters, because they 48 extras didn't have that much bearing on the result, to be fair. But look, doing it tough, but
Still doing it.
They're still rocking up. You can't fault that. So look, best of luck to them. Hopefully they're able to bounce back in the coming weeks.
Yeah, the bad news is I mentioned 3 golden ducks: Luke Mahadi, Shash Geneva, and Harry Purukuri. All of Ascot were the 3 there. The bowling performances, just 2 for a mention this week. James Connolly with 4 for 39 and a very handy 28 runs there. Well done, James. And Darren Wright with 4 for 34, no 3-fers, and just 4 games. Well, these I suspect will go according to ladder positions. Brabham up against Carlisle 2v5, Bayswater at home, the ladder leaders Scarborough. Uni 7th, they take on Yukon, Pilbara and SKLP. Probably the match of the round in terms of projected closeness up against Ascot, and that's surprising because Ascot are 6th on the ladder, courtesy of they got a forfeit awarded to them in the first game. So the
default.
So the true test for you, Ascot, will be this week. Yep. That's the reality. You got to win off a forfeit. You got your skills questioned. I was going to use a different phrase and caught myself. Now is the time to step up as you take on SKLP. A good opportunity for you to show what you've got. Now, the B grade sees Glen Forest take on Middle Swan, and in the H grade at the bottom of the page it shows the Middle Swan taking on Glen Forest in the H grade as well.
Okay.
Results last week: SKLP all out for 87, lost to Glen Forest, who put on 191 for 6. Brabham too strong for City Beach. Western Wolves going down to Middle Swan, 8 for 202 there in a nail biter, because that was literally 6 balls left to go, and Western Wolves really in the hunt there, but well done, Middle Swan. Allenbrook got up over Mount Lawley Inglewood in the nail biter there, at least on the run side, all out 96, Mount Lawley, Allenbrook 8 for 180, making it competitive.
Yeah, low scoring game.
Yeah, and in a match that we have no information from, Bayswater were up against Coolbinia West Perth.
And we have no idea what the result was.
No, so you don't get a mention. Yeah. But who does?
So it's
one of your blokes.
Well, for the H grade, it's important to acknowledge this on this video here. So this is the first instance of all 3 of the Hatches playing together. So we've got Bryce, the father, and Tom and Alex, his young sons. Tom, I think, is 15 and Alex is 14. Both of whom are very, very talented cricketers, as well as Bryce being a stalwart of the club and former president.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's worth mentioning this was the first time that the 3 of them got to play together. It's also worth acknowledging that both of his sons are substantially taller than him. Not that that is difficult, but we've got the photo on our page, and and it's good they got to play and win together and contribute pretty significantly. Tom made 73. He's looking a real classy player. He was the highest scorer of the round for H grade. And then followed with some other games in this. Hamoud Maqsood, 69. Mitch Carey, 66. Justin Stevenson scored 60. Bryce himself scored 51 opening the batting. Ankit Patel, 42. Rahul Rasharia, 40. Anthony Fisher, 37. Warren Gandy, 34. Albie Dennis from Glen Forest scored 28. That was quite rare for him, not in the sense of the amount of runs he scored, but how quickly he scored them. He nearly scored them at a strike rate of 50. If you're watching Albie, we know runs are not your issue. Strike rate is. but you're getting there, and that's all that matters.
Oh, burn.
You are getting there. You're a real talent, so that's all right. And then following up with R.B. Singh and Bhavik Gajjar, 27, and AJ Kane, 26. And a few Goldens here. Chad Wilson from Glen Forest made a Golden. He's a new player for us. He's had a bit of a bowl, had a bit of a bat. Couldn't quite deliver it with the bat this week, but that's okay. And then we've got some footy names here. Luke Jackson.
Well,
and boy, oh boy, wowee, Brian Taylor scored a Golden Duck as well for, I believe that's Ellenbrook.
It is Ellenbrook, and I'm just going to do a shout out to Luke Jackson here for Middle Swan. He plays darts in our darts team on a Monday night. He's joined us. He's a FIFO player.
Okay.
Steps up and he loves his sport. He's very passionate. And I can only imagine the heartbreak he felt as he's gone out there to bat, first ball, leant back to cut it, stepped on his wickets, didn't even hit the ball, and you're out.
Yeah.
So, sorry, Luke. Luke.
Yeah, I have been out hit wicket before. It's not a good feeling.
Oh,
Especially for a spinner.
Yeah, he took a screamer catch, I heard,
good.
but one won't get your mention in the stats here. Well, we'll get you a mention, though, like Karan Desai. He had 6 for 11. Brian Taylor can bowl. He had a handy 5 for 7. Bhupan Harani and Justin Juggy Stevenson both taking 4 for 28, while the younger of the Hatches,
Alex,
the junior hatchling, Alex, with his first wicket in senior cricket, just the one there, but worthy of a mention in a family
upcoming
day out.
spin bowler, so
And in the matches this week, SKLP taking on Brabham, Western Wolves take on Coolbinia West Perth. Top of the table clash, Middle Swan, their second at home against Glen Forest, who are first. That will be a ripping game there.
Yeah.
Mount Lawley Inglewood taking on City Beach at the other end of the ladder, and Bayswater taking on Allenbrook in the final of the H-grade matches. All right, 1 grade to go, viewers, then we'll just give you the Golden Duck stats of the week, and we'll wrap it up here on the Community Sports Show with me, Noel Nosey Johnston, and the man himself, the myth, the legend, the finisher, Ben Morgan.
That's questionable.
Yeah, well, I know. I got told I had to drop that in there.
Yeah.
In the I grade, 80% of the home sides won. Well, home side advantage here. The only one going down was Forestfield, who lost to Allenbrook, 113 to 265. Bullsbrook getting up in the I grade, 143 over Dianella, 142. So 142, 143 sounds close, but 4 down in 26 overs. Bullsbrook doing it relatively easy, as did Yokai and Pilbara, 2 for 147 in 19.3. So I'm not sure where the last 3 balls of that 20 over minimum went, but Ferndale all out for 67. Coolbinia West Perth, 6 for 198, were too strong for Swan View, 166. And SKLP defeating Les Murdy Mazenod, 187 to 182. All right. Well, we mentioned Joey Lee before as one of the club of 500 players up there at Les Murdy Mazenod. His son Anthony did quite well with 75 not out off 55 for Les Murdy. Jono with 72 off 116, opening the batting for Dianella. Scott Bretland, 67 not out. Samuel Ball, 58. Brad Bennett, 56. Rishi Desai had 52. Another fossil, the Craig Mitchell kind, another player who's been up at Les Murdy Mazenod probably for 25 years at least, Craig. So he'd be nudging 400, I suspect. Dan Gondoria had 42, as did Hitesh Lakani, but he was 42 not out for SKLP. While Luke Redmond and Alex Hall chipped in with 38. Tory Dennis there. That's almost like an American sitcom actor's name, isn't it?
Yeah, I do actually know a couple of. I do know a Tory.
And I know some people with the surname Dennis.
Yeah. Tory, but he's a Salvatore. So but he goes by Tory.
Yeah.
So, but yeah.
Big shout out on that note to Salvatore Gocci of Wanneroo Lacrosse Club. Nick Sykes had 28, and rounding out the batting mentions, it was Jacob Sykes.
Yeah.
Perth Sykes there, 26. Bowling, I'll let you play that.
Yep. So the pick of the round for the I grade, Brock Sheriff's 5 for 16 and 2 catches. Yeah. Guns out for that one. Ash Chowdhury, 4 for 11. Tory Dennis, once again, getting a mention, 3 for 13. Pravan Vagajani, 3 for 24. And sadly, Lesmurdy Mazenod didn't quite get their radar right with the ball. 47 extras in total, 40 wides, 2 no balls, 3 leg byes and 2 byes. So you can't really be blaming the wicketkeeper for that one because there was only 2 byes in that. Yeah, fairly.
And again, Lesmurdy Mazenod, when you look at it, went down by 5 runs.
Yep. That's dead. The extras definitely were the difference in that one. So not like the Ascot game where, yes, there were a lot of extras, but really didn't matter because they were skittled. This one was definitely the difference in the end. So, look, for their sake, they hope to get the radar right, and that will bring them right back in to a competitive state. Just one thing they've got to fix, really, but...
All right, and I'll let you run through the last couple of bits there because I'll lead off in the Golden Duck bit. Otherwise, that'll confuse you.
Okay. You mean the upcoming round?
Yeah.
So Swanview are taking on Ellenbrook. Dianella are taking on Yokine Pilbara. Forestfield against Ferndale Linwood. Kulbinia against SKLP. That could be a very interesting game, that one. And then Lesmurdy are playing Bullsbrook in Pickering Brook.
Yep.
So it'll be one of the many home grounds that Lesmurdy Mazenod has. And that would be the
That's
the
their
lower
third ground, I think.
Yeah.
Well, Yokine Pilbara leading the ladder there in the I grade, and don't think you got away with it there, Connor Hall of Ferndale Linwood. We saw your Golden Duck. All right, speaking of Golden Ducks, well, we had 18 in week 1. Well, I think I've started something here because they've gone up by 5. There were 23 last week. So we've had 41 Golden Ducks in the space of a couple of weeks. Come on, batsman, you can do it. Leading grades, D grade has 7, E grade has 6, H grade and G grade both with 5, and then all the other grades with 1 or 2 between them. Leading the club results here, it's Ascot with 5, 4 clubs with 4, Scarborough, Carlisle, Caversham, and unfortunately the mighty Middle Swan. And then Darlington, Rossmore, and Helena Valley and SKLP with a pair, and 12 clubs all with 1 to their name, including Glen Forest.
Thank you, Chad.
Yeah, well done, mate. We won't. Well, there he is there, Chad Wilson. We won't mention them all by name, but what we will do, viewers, is just give a big shout out to all 86. Well, the 85 teams out of 86 that took part last week. Just the one forfeit across 12 grades. That's fantastic. A reminder: we've got a series of awards at the end of the association competition this year at the wind-up. We're calling for a sponsor. If you'd like to sponsor the 1-day largest audience, 2-day largest audience, the T20 largest audience, this bloke's now in the running. You're going to have to get your PR people out, though, for the midweek guest audience of the
I think they abandoned me years ago, to be fair.
Yeah, well, what I will say is you're a natural behind the mic. You can talk the boots off a poor man. Broadcast moment of the season, club media personality of the season, and that is to recognise those out there doing a bit out in the socials for their clubs, and our newest award, the Spirit of Sport Award, for the most individual Golden Ducks, and that will be decided if we end up with 15 blokes all on 2. It'll come down to a duck count-off. We'll go back and we'll check how many other ducks you had, So that'll be
Is that just for the season or for the
for
career?
the season.
Okay.
No, season.
Because if it was career, then I'd pretty much be well in the running if I get a couple of Goldens this year.
Well, I'd be up there too.
Yeah, I think I'm nearly on 30. I think.
Okay, I'll let you have that one. So normal ducks will be used in the countback. Just to wrap it up before we go, just a reminder, we are starting to call for expressions of interest for after Christmas break. We get a nice long break this year. If you want your club broadcast, get in touch soon to avoid disappointment, because those places are filling. Places that don't fill quite as quickly, although I'd love them to, are in the broadcast van. If you can help out in any capacity, behind the mic, behind the camera, behind the laptop, whatever you can do, all will help. Andy Power jumping in this week, but looking for someone on a semi-permanent basis, because Weasel is still on the recovery and Donny is otherwise occupied, is how I'll describe that. Moving on, the Woof Doof promo. What is Woof Doof? It's the World Flying Disc Federation, and their 2024 World Championships are on here in Perth. We've got a couple of VIP tickets to give away. If you're across the Perth Swan Cricket Association, jump on our page, add an entry. There's literally only about 10 entries at the moment. So you've got a roughly 1 in 10 chance at the moment to win a double VIP pass to that World Championship. Mate, we've had a intimate crowd tonight, is how I'll describe it. But it's good to have you with us wherever you are across the globe. Thank you all for joining us, whether it's morning, afternoon, evening, or like here in Perth, Western Australia, whether it's night time. Thanks for joining us. Thank you, mate. You've been a source of entertainment.
I've enjoyed this, actually. It's been good fun, and I'll happily do it again.
All right, well, I'll talk to your agent first. Actually, I'll see you Saturday.
Yeah,
because
we'll see you this
Saturday, the broadcast match is B grade. Glen Forest, current ladder leaders, up against Middle Swan, who have been competitive, but they started their season with a week 1 score of 3 for 1. And that 1 was an extra.
Yeah.
So I'm hoping that won't be the case this week. Middle Swan up and about for the broadcast game. Next week, back here in the studio on Wednesday night for our broadcast, as always, of the Perth Swan Cricket Association. Friday night, drink responsibly, viewers, is all I'll say as he necks that. Next Friday night, the World Flying Disc Federation will be in the hot seat here. We'll have one of the competitors from across the globe joining us here in the studio to do the draw for that competition. So join us then next Friday, and then Saturday, as always, we'll be out and about across the Perth Swan Cricket Association. Well, I couldn't have done it without you, mate. Thank you again for your time.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate your efforts. Also appreciate the fantastic support we get from our sponsors, our platinum sponsors. ID Athletic for all your sporting apparel and club merchandise. Tell them Knowlesy sent you, so I get a commission. And
you got to do what you got to do, man.
Got to do what you got to do. ID Athletic will do you right. That's what they'll do. They'll look after all your sporting apparel and club merchandise needs, just like Vision Decor will look after all your curtain blinds. And I'm just sneaking in so I can get my mouse ready to click a few buttons here. Vision Decor, curtains, blinds, awnings, and even hybrid floorings. Mike and Lisa Ash of Vision Decor have a great range of great products, because they really are great people. On behalf of this man, he's a survivor, he's a finisher, he's a batsman, and he thinks he's a bowler, Ben Morgan. I get the ultimate burn.
Yeah.
I am Noel Knowlesy Johnston, wherever you are across the globe. Thanks for joining us. Take care, stay safe. Please remember though, be nice to yourself, but most importantly, be nice to those around you too. We'll see you again on Saturday afternoon at 12:30 here on the Community Sports Show. the globe. You're here on the Community Sports Show.